Tonight, when the sun goes down, you are going to flip a switch. Light will flood the room, and you will not think twice about it. But for 99.9% of human history, that switch did not exist. When the sun set, the world went dark, and something ancient inside you still remembers what that darkness meant. You are afraid of the dark. Not all the time, not in ways you always admit, but the instinct is there, buried just beneath your modern skin, waiting for the moment the lights go out in an unfamiliar place, and the hair on your arms stands up for no reason you can name. That reason has a name. It is just very, very old. Here is the part no one tells you. Your fear of the dark is not irrational. It is not a childhood leftover you were supposed to grow out of. It is one of the most precisely calibrated survival systems your brain has ever inherited. And the thing your ancestors were afraid of in the dark was not nothing. It was real. It had claws. 40,000 years ago, your ancestors did not just fear predators during the day. They feared something far more terrifying: the loss of their ability to see what was coming. Darkness was not just an absence of light. It was an inversion of power. During daylight hours, a healthy human adult could track, read the landscape, coordinate with others, and outrun or outmaneuver most threats. But after dark, the advantage shifted completely. That shift was not subtle. Dr. Donna Hart, a primatologist at the University of Missouri, spent years studying the relationship between early humans and large predators. Her research, compiled in the book Man the Hunted, challenges the long-held idea that early humans were primarily hunters. What the fossil record actually shows is that for most of human prehistory, we were prey. We were eaten regularly by lions, leopards, hyenas, saber-toothed cats, and giant crocodiles, all of which had one crucial advantage over us in darkness: they could see far better than we could. Your eyes have roughly 120 million rod cells for detecting dim light. A leopard has 4 times more. A lion can see in conditions 8 times darker than the minimum your eye can process. And these were not just theoretical threats. Ancient campsites in South Africa, studied by paleoanthropologist Lee Berger, contain the remains of Australopithecines with puncture marks from eagle talons, leopard teeth, and carnivore crushing. Your ancestors were not imagining things in the dark. They were being taken from it. So your brain evolved to treat darkness as danger, not as a maybe, not as a possibility, as a near certainty. This is why the fear feels the way it does. It does not arrive as a thought. It does not start with a reasoned assessment of your environment. It starts as a sensation, a physical tightening in the chest, a sharpening of the senses, a sudden hyper-awareness of sound. Before your prefrontal cortex can even form the sentence, "There is probably nothing here," your amygdala has already activated your fight or flight response, dilated your pupils, spiked your cortisol, and redirected blood to your muscles. Your body does not wait for your brain to catch up. It was never designed to. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux at New York University has spent decades mapping the fear circuitry of the brain. His research shows that sensory signals can reach the amygdala in as little as 12 milliseconds, far faster than the signal takes to reach the cortex for conscious processing. What this means is that you feel afraid before you know you are afraid. The fear circuit evolved to be fast. Waiting was not an option when a leopard moved at 60 kilometers an hour. And here is where it gets stranger. Darkness does not just activate fear of things that might be there. It activates fear of things you cannot yet define. Researchers call this ambiguity aversion, and it is especially acute in low-light conditions. A study published in the journal Psychological Science found that people exposed to dimly lit environments reported significantly higher levels of free-floating anxiety than those in well-lit spaces, even when both groups were in identical, objectively safe rooms. The darkness itself, not a visible threat, was enough to trigger the threat detection system. Your brain in the dark defaults to worst case. That is not a flaw. That was the correct setting. Because in the ancient world, the thing that got you killed was not overreacting to a sound in the dark. It was underreacting. The ancestors who heard a branch snap at midnight and thought probably just the wind did not pass on many genes. The ones who thought assume threat, assume teeth, assume it is moving toward you, those were the ones who were still alive at dawn. You are descended from the ones who were afraid. There is something else your ancestors feared in the dark, beyond predators. They feared each other. Darkness has always been the time when social contracts collapse, when the visibility that keeps behavior in check disappears, when strangers become shapes, and shapes become threats. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar at Oxford, whose research on social group size became the basis for Dunbar's number, has written extensively about the role of firelight in early human social bonding. Fire changed everything. The emergence of controlled fire, now dated by some researchers to as early as 1 million years ago at Wonderwerk Cave in South Africa, did not just provide warmth or cook food. It created a boundary, a perimeter, a circle of light in the middle of darkness that said, here is us, and out there is not. Fire allowed humans to extend their social hours into the night, to tell stories, to reinforce group bonds, to be visible to one another. It became the first defense against what the dark contained. And this is the part that mirrors directly onto your life right now. Think about where you feel safe after dark, inside, under light. In familiar places with familiar people, you recreate the conditions of the firelit circle wherever you go. Your well-lit living room is a campfire. The glow of your phone at 2 in the morning is a torch. The streetlights lining your walk home are a trail of fire someone laid for you to follow. You are still afraid of what is outside the circle, and you should know that this fear never fully switched off because it was never given a good enough reason to. The threats are gone. The leopards are not waiting in your garden. But evolution does not edit out behaviors just because the original cause has been resolved. It waits for selection pressure. And in the time since humans built cities and streetlights, approximately the last 10,000 years, there has not been nearly enough generational distance to silence a system that kept your lineage alive for millions of years. The switch on your wall does not fool the oldest part of your brain. It just distracts it. And so, tonight, when you flip that switch and the light floods the room, a part of you will still glance toward the corner where the shadow lingered longest. Not because you think something is there, because for a million years something was.